Hi everybody, I hope you've been enjoying the warm weather. I hope you had a really good weekend. Oh, there's a photo bomber in my video. I hope you've had a really good weekend with your dad celebrating Father's Day. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about joy and happiness. Now, when I was a little girl, I used to love to read books, and one person whose books I used to love to read, her name is Patricia St. John, and she wrote lots of books about little boys and girls, probably about your age, and the different problems they got into, and how it turned out for them. This is a really good book called Treasures of the Snow. If you wanted a book to read, you could get your parents to maybe see if they could buy it for you or see if it's in the library. Or if your mom and dad know me, they can send me a message and I'd be happy to let you borrow this book. This is a really good one, Treasures of the Snow. But she wrote lots of other books too. And one of the books that she read, and I forget the name of it right now, but when I was a little girl, I loved it. And the little girl in that story, she had a verse that she would turn to in the Bible. And that became one of my favorite verses. I wanted to read it to you and then maybe talk about it a little bit today. It's from the book of Psalms 16:11. It says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." And that's a verse that really meant a lot to me as a little girl and growing up, to think that God can show me the right path in life. And if I stick with God and I'm trying to please Him, that He can really give me joy in my life. Now, sometimes when we think about joy, we think about joy being the same as happiness. So I thought maybe today we'd illustrate the difference between joy and happiness. Now, if you want to try this at home, you have to ask your mom and dad, and you have to get their permission to do it with you, because we don't want anybody getting some burned fingers. So if we think about this balloon as ourselves and happiness, so maybe we have a really good day where mom has bought us our favorite cereal. That's good. And then maybe we got to have a really yummy dessert at lunchtime. And then maybe mom let us play on our tablet. Maybe daddy came home early so we could watch a family movie tonight. You get the idea. So we have lots of things that have filled us up inside with happiness. And we're all nice and big and light like this balloon. But maybe the next day things aren't so good. Maybe instead of our favorite dessert, we have the vegetable that we really don't like that we have to eat. Maybe we're not allowed to play on the tablet. Maybe instead of watching a family movie, you have to go to bed early. All kinds of different things that kind of make your day not such a happy one. And what can happen is sometimes when we're feeling happy and then things don't go our way, have a guess. I think you might know what's going to happen. So loud noise. Woo! That was quick, wasn't it? I didn't think it would be that quick. We better light it again. Blow out some smoke. So sometimes our happiness bubble, our happiness balloon, can pop quite quickly, can't it? I'm just going to light this again. So that's kind of like happiness. It can come and it can go depending what our circumstances are. Now, if we have a look at this balloon and we think of this balloon as joy. Joy is a little bit different. Joy is inside us and it comes from knowing God, knowing Jesus. Lots of times in assembly we've talked about that Jesus is our rescuer. He's taken away the punishment for all those wrong things that we've done. If we've come to Jesus and asked Him to forgive us, He'll forgive us. And when He does that, He takes away all the bad things we've done and He gives us joy instead. And His joy stays with us. And like my verse says, in your presence, being with God, there's fullness of joy. That means the most joy that you could have, and it doesn't take away. So then, whether we have a good day or a bad day, our joy doesn't go away. Okay, let's see if it's going to work here. So here's my joy coming over to the bad things. Look at that. Nothing's happened. because God can give us joy that can stay. And our joy doesn't depend on good days or bad days, things happening great in the world or things happening bad in the world. So I want to encourage you to really learn more about God, to talk to Jesus, and ask him to give you that joy that comes from knowing him. I'm going to pray, and then after I pray, I'll talk to you about why this balloon didn't burst. And then maybe you want to try it at home if your parents say so. Dear God, thank you that when we ask you to forgive us for the wrong things that we've done, you can come into our heart and give us real joy, and that can stay no matter whether things are good or for bad. Pray that you would help us to be trying our best in these days to make wise choices that will please you. And I pray for all the boys and girls as they work really hard on their schoolwork, that they'd be doing their best. Amen. Now, why did that other balloon burst? You can see there's pieces of it up here. Why did that other balloon burst so quickly, but this balloon didn't burst? Very easy secret. When I blew up this balloon, I put a little bit of water in. Can you hear it? So what happens, I put a little bit of water in the balloon before I blew the balloon up all the way. And when I put it over the candle flame, I put it where the water is. So the water cools down the temperature of the balloon just enough that it won't burst. Now you can see it's gone awfully black, but it won't burst. Now, if you leave it there for 10 minutes, I can't tell you that it's not going to burst. I don't know. But you can remember how quickly this purple one burst and how this one stayed. So maybe this week, if you want to tell your parents about joy and happiness and the difference, ask them to help you and get some balloons and see if you can do this experiment at home. Have a really good week, everybody, and we'll talk to you again later. Bye.